wonderful map, Paradise Hills. I appreciate you coming back. Yeah, we're still on Farming Sim 15. It is Saturday evening, kind of late, after 8 o'clock. I think it's about 8:30 or so on the 22nd. So just still sort of chomping at the bit for Tuesday to hurry up and get here. Um, I've been reading about well, what we're going to do with this episode is we're going to harvest this last row of fruit trees. I was recording and I was basically walking through or going through the what would be this episode earlier this morning, and I harvested the second field, the barley field, I think it was, and then harvested 4 rows of fruit trees, and just had some issues with the my microphone audio, and so I decided to just more or less scrap that episode and bring us back here. So what we're going to do is we're going to harvest these fruit trees. Not sure what these are, and then we're going to sell the canola, at least the canola, maybe sell other items. So it looks like this is, what is this? These are cherries, so cherry trees. Um, and anyway, what was I saying? Oh, I was talking about I've been reading about, well, actually I need the F1 menu to kind of keep up with the loading, so just bear with us on this. Anyway, I've been reading and watching and looking at a lot of information about Farming Sim 17. Obviously, I'm sure you have as well. And I've seen a lot of discussion, and of course, you're going to be watching this probably a few days after Farming Sim 17 comes out. But I've been seeing a lot of information about uh, the sort of the exact timing as to when we might expect Farming Sim 17 to start downloading to our machines. Now, I pre-ordered back in July. Actually, I looked at my Steam account this afternoon because I wasn't sure. I was like, did I do that in July? Was it August? What, the days. I'm typically so busy with work and my life and everything that sometimes the days and the weeks just kind of, it's just kind of a blur. And honest to God, it feels like just a few weeks ago it was, my wife and I was in Europe and all of that, and here we are, we're almost end of October. It's almost Halloween. How crazy is that? So anyway, long story short is I've been reading and looking at a lot of information as to when we expect to see Farming Sim 17 actually be available to install. Now, obviously, we know that it officially releases on the 25th. Obviously, Giants is a German-based company, so the 25th technically for me European time starts will be the evening of Monday, so around 6 p.m. or so Monday. My evening is midnight Europe time or thereabouts, and so will I actually be able to turn on my computer, living here in the United States, and actually will Steam deliver Farming Sim 17 to my computer at that time? Or would it occur, when I wake up on Tuesday morning? So, I had mentioned in the earlier episode that I've got some calm time that I'm going to be taking Tuesday and Wednesday. Well, that was what my plans was, anyways. But I think I'm gonna kind of maybe wait and see. Um, you know, my I can sort of float I can sort of trade Tuesday and Wednesday for Wednesday and Thursday, if need be. So I may really look at that, and if it's, if I wake up on Tuesday morning, and if 17 is not available for me to download and install, or if the download speed is so bad because everybody else and their brother is downloading it and installing it, that it's going to be like 5 or 6 hours. I don't think it would be that bad, but if that were to be the case, I might actually just go ahead and go to work on Tuesday. You know me, I can't back up and talk at the same time. So let me. All right, we're unloading. So I may actually go to work on Tuesday after all, and either see like half day kind of thing, come home and after lunch or something like that. I'm not 100% certain exactly how that's going to all unfold, but we'll see. Of course, there's been a lot of complaining going on in both the Giants forums as well as the Steam discussion groups about why these YouTubers and Twitch streamers got preview versions, and why do they get it and I don't get it. I pre-ordered in July or August, and wham wham wham. Well, something, these people that are preview partners, Giants preview partners, um, they've done an outstanding job building their streams, um, working with Giants, showcasing Farming Sim 15, Farming Sim 13. Some of these guys have been doing videos on the Farming Sim franchise for quite a long time, and they're deserving of that, and it's good advertisement for Giants. I'm sure that they have probably pre-sold quite a few copies of Farming Sim 17 just over the last couple of days, since like Wednesday, when that was the first preview streams that I began seeing. And I would love to be a preview partner, but I've got like 56, 57 subscribers, and I'm not complaining at all, because I don't really have a desire, nor am I really going to work tremendously hard to try to grow my channel at any sort of unhealthy rate. As people find me and come and subscribe or not, I'm happy. I don't plan to make a living out of this whatsoever. So I do this for fun, and I stream because I want to, or I'm sorry, I record my gameplay because I want to, and I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to play what I want to play. I'm going to play the maps how I want to play them, and I'm going to have fun along the way. So yeah. All right, so let's think about what we want to do with this canola. So we've got this great demand for canola at Mill One, and it's being sold at 1,100 dollars, a liter, I suppose, or maybe it's a ton. I think it's a ton, actually. I think it better shows here what that dollar amount is. I don't really worry about that. Yeah, it's per ton. Um, so I say let's do that, and let's let's drive the let's drive the International Harvester Transtar. If we can get this thing running. So yeah, I mean, I would love to be playing 17 right now, not only for my own personal satisfaction, but also sharing it with anyone that's willing to watch either a live stream or a recorded session. But um, I'm not a preview partner, and that doesn't bother me. I mean, other than just a simple fact that I'd actually love to be playing it. But something, we've got a storyline that's going here, and I've got I'm going to appreciate the time that I have this evening's game session, obviously, and I'll probably play some tomorrow, and probably be looking at wrapping things up here pretty quick. I think kind of as I talked about earlier today. I don't really see myself. I don't see myself juggling between the two just because I think I'm going to be so impressed with 17. And even though mods and stuff like that are going to be a little slow to come out, um, I think I'm going to be so impressed with 17 that I'm going to find that I'm perfectly busy on Goldcrest Valley, and I'm going to have so much to do. And I've even got a good storyline going, and I'm looking forward to actually playing that out. And so I hope you'll tune in and enjoy that with me. All right, so let's see. I just need to take a look here and see where we are going. We're going to Mill 1, which is flashing like crazy down there, so we just need to go past the garden center and hang a right, I believe. Yep, hang a right, and then, yeah. So hopefully we can get up there. Not sure. I don't think I've ever been there, so hopefully this truck will do it for us. Go ahead and cover that so we don't lose any of our canola. Yeah, the live streams that I've seen, Brad M73, Daggerwin. I also watched Squirrel for just a little bit. They have been really good streams. I think to be honest, I think Daggerwin's probably done the best job of the ones that I've seen. And actually, to my knowledge, he has not live streamed, but he has just begun his Let's Play series, and those have been really good. Daggerwin is a wonderful presenter, and even though he's from the UK, I understand him perfect. Well, I understand most people from Britain. It kind of comes in that I work for an international company and everything, but Daggerwin's presentation is very good. It's quite enjoyable, and so I guess we can go ahead and speed on up here. But yeah, they've all done a fantastic job. And I think that, for everyone that's sort of being a bit impatient and a bit childish perhaps with, well, why do they get access and I don't, I pre-ordered, blah, blah, blah. Just wait your turn. Just be patient. Of course, now there have been some things have come out in the last day about some folks on one of the console platforms went out to pre-order on Amazon, and they basically got their software download and got their license key and everything, and they're playing. I haven't even tried it to see if it would do that for PC because, well, I don't need to buy the game twice, and again, I've got things I need to do in 15. I need to properly wrap this series up. So that's what I'm going to do. So we'll have things sort of wrapped up and sort of tied together with a little bow and everything well before 17 comes out, well before Tuesday. So I suppose, yeah, I'm an opinionated kind of guy. Let me see if this is our turn, and it is. Um, I have opinions just like everyone else, and I suppose if if I were to have an opinion that I would want to share regarding this whole pre-order thing, that for those that pre-ordered, like for instance through Steam, that we might perhaps there be some kind of queue process that essentially, knows that, okay, well, Grizzly Bear, he pre-ordered on the 17th of July, and he pre-ordered on the 17th of July, and we're going to push those, or we're going to let those people, have a certain priority versus someone that decided to pre-order, yesterday or the day before or something like that. But something, I mean, Steam servers are, as far as I'm aware, they seem to be, high performing, as long as we don't have a denial of service attack again that's affecting the internet across the United States. Everything should be fine. Everything should be fine. But I suppose that would be my only sort of wish in this whole thing, is that, you know, that if you pre-ordered, that you basically get a shot at downloading it, or maybe if, and I don't know if Steam does this at all, but, and of course it would have to be in cooperation with Giants, but if there were some way that you could basically download, if there was some way that you could basically download the software through Steam, obviously, and then get the activation key on the day that that the game goes live, so on the 25th. So essentially, it takes a little bit of the workload off of the software servers and all that kind of stuff. But it is what it is, and something. The day that I pre-ordered, I knew what the potential release date was, and I've known what that potential release date, certainly what the exact date was for several weeks now, and it's okay. The 25th Tuesday will get here when it gets here, and we'll have a blast playing Farming Sim 17. Yeah, this truck will do 55. I do find it quite interesting that, at least in Brad's stream that I've watched, I've probably watched his stream more than I've watched any of the others that I've seen, because really the only two streams that I've seen in English are Brad M73 and Squirrel. All the other streams that I've seen that's taken place during my daytime hours, like on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday when I was in the office, um, those were the only two that was in English. But sort of something that sort of tickled me is that so many people wanted to, watch Brad drive the train, or watch Squirrel drive the train, and it's, to me, the train is probably the least thing that I'm excited about in Farming Simulator. Um, if you want to drive a train, get Train Simulator 2016 or 17 or whatever it's called. Um, and if you want to farm, get Farming Simulator. Now, I get that, that it's something different, but I would guess that there's very few farmers that also operate a railroad, a train. And for me, the reason why I play these types of games, and I've talked about this before, and I'm sure I'll talk about it many times because it's important to me, is the simulation aspect, the realism through simulation. I mean, that's sort of my deal, you know. As I said, I doubt very seriously if there is very many, certainly not the vast majority of farmers have access to trains. So, um, you know, I will probably use the train once or twice just to say, hey, I used the train. But as you noticed in the video before this one, and I think that was maybe episode 20, I think this is episode 21, I discovered my very first gold nugget. I've been playing Farming Simulator 15 for almost 2 years, probably about 21 months or so, 21, 22 months, and I found my very first gold nugget today. Finding the gold nuggets on either the default maps or on modded maps when they get placed on them has never been a priority for me. Now, having said that, it will be a priority in Goldcrest Valley because it's actually going to be part of my storyline, and you'll hear more about that when we get to that particular point in time. But I will make an effort to find the gold nuggets because there's quite a reward for that, and that will come in handy as we are building our farming empire from pretty much scratch. So look forward to that. I know I am. But yeah, I mean, the driving the train is sort of secondary, and that had and quite honestly, that was sort of my feelings and my reactions to the forestry aspect. Now I have since grown to enjoy forestry only because I've got some, I've got some tools, I've got the joystick, and that makes very quick work out of running the cranes and all that kind of stuff. And so I will do some forestry on in FS17 because I think it will still be a good money maker, and I will do that. But it's not, while I don't want to see giants take this out of the game, because I do think that most farmers own a chainsaw, and if there's a tree in the way that needs to be cut down, obviously they're going to do that. But I don't think that as a whole, most farmers that are growing crops like wheat and barley and canola and raising cattle and such as that is also doing mass operations of logging. There may be some, but it's not every single farmer. Try to do a little bit better job hitting that. All right, what do we have left? We've got 22,000. We'll go ahead and go back and grab that. So what else have I learned about 17? Trying to think. Oh, so Stevie has 17. He pre-ordered it through some UK software or computer type store or something like that, and it shipped, and he received it, I guess, today. And he has already started to look into mods. So, Stevie makes some of the very best map mods there are, as well as does quite a few very, very good equipment mods. I've got quite a few equipment mods for 15 that I use on a regular basis, and I prefer to use his mods over other mods if they do the same thing, just because I know the level of detail and the quality and everything that he puts into them, as well as the support, and that, to me, that's important. So he's already kind of starting to take a look at that, so that's good news. He's also tiling a floor, putting floor tile down, so I'm not sure how much time he's going to be able to devote to FS17 modding, but it should, I expect it to come along pretty quick, and that'll be nice. I would actually expect that he may even do, sort of a modded map for the default Goldcrest Valley, maybe. I know that he was actually looking at that map. He made some comments about it. So we will just have to see. Now, I don't, if all goes as planned, as I had said, I hope to start playing 17 Tuesday morning as soon as I wake up and get a shower and start pouring some coffee down my throat. I hope to get 17 going. I don't know, obviously I like to keep my episodes at around the, hour, anywhere from 30 minutes to 60 minutes in length. I probably will play FS17 most of Tuesday if I can, and most of Wednesday if I can. So, at least, I would say at least 6 or 7 hours each of those 2 days, for maybe a total of 12 to 14, 15 hours or so. What I'm not sure that I want to do is I'm not sure that I want to get so far ahead like I am now. At one point I was probably about 8 or 9 days ahead of the episodes that I was releasing, and that becomes a bit difficult, especially for me, since I also actively blog about the simulation gaming community, and I would say I blog more about the farming simulator genre than I do anything else right now. It's kind of difficult because I would love to use my YouTube channel as a medium for helping to get the message out regarding different things. And so pretty much from the moment that I started my channel, started recording Paradise Hills and talking about it, I got so far ahead that I was talking about things that you guys wouldn't hear me say for possibly 5, 6, 7, 8 days or more down the road, and it kind of gets to be a bit difficult to do that. Because otherwise, I'm talking about fresh content, but you guys aren't hearing it for a week, maybe a week and a half away. It's no longer new news for you. So, but at the same time, I know that there's going to come a time that I'm going to get busy again. I'm going to get busy with work, and I'm going to get busy with life. The fall and winter is my slowest period of time. So, I'm gonna try to enjoy this as much as I can. But at the same time, I know that come spring and possibly summer, it'll be less. I won't have as much free time. But so I really don't know. I'm thinking that for now with 17, I'm gonna just I'm basically gonna play 17. In career mode. I'm going to start, I think I mentioned in the earlier episode today, episode 20, I think it is, I think I mentioned that I was going to start in normal mode. Um, and I'll save hard mode for when we get like maybe soul mod or horseplay, some of those other things to kind of assist with. But I'm going to play in normal mode. We start off with 20,000. That's what I'm going to start off with. And I'm going to leverage, hiring workers to work on the fields that I own. You start off with 3 fields in 17, and then I'm going to do the work for other farmers, which pays anywhere from a few $1,000s for jobs like simply fertilizing, up to you can earn 15, 16, 18, almost $20,000 harvesting some fields. And I'm going to do those things to build up my cash. And of course, I think that showing you all the things that are new in 17 obviously will probably be done like from the first video. I don't think I'm not gonna waste your time or necessarily my time to do like a map tour in the first episode, because that stuff's already out there. Guys have already done that, and probably by the time I get my videos edited and get them uploaded and everything, there'll be a half dozen or more map tours. So I'm not going to necessarily do that. Oops, did we cut that a bit too short? I think we did. All right. Yeah, this trailer is a bit long. And I'm sure that, but after I sort of cover a job fertilizing for another farmer, maybe planting for another farmer, harvesting for another farmer, you guys won't need to necessarily see that again and again and again. So some of that stuff I will do off camera. But just like I started FS15 21 months ago, I started in career mode with Westbridge Hills with whatever amount of money that they gave me, and I worked my way up, and that's what I'm going to do with Goldcrest Valley. And it's a discipline thing, because especially with all the hype around some of the new equipment that we get with 17, it's going to be difficult to avoid cheating in the money. But with the gold nuggets, one of the reasons why I've sort of changed my opinion on the gold nuggets is, well, for one, they're gold nuggets in 17. And so obviously there's gold and then there are hills, right? So, part of my role play is going to do a little bit of prospecting, got a metal detector, go up and see what I can find just to kind of help make ends meet. And if I can collect those 100 gold nuggets, that's a cool $1 million in the bank account. So, um, you know, Todd Hoffman of Gold Rush, I'm not, but yeah, we're gonna basically try that and see what we can do. And hopefully we can find. I think you got to find 10. You got to find the first 10, like hunting Easter eggs. You don't know where they are. And then I believe after you find the 10, then the others are revealed on the map. And you just go along, I guess, and pick them up. So we'll, you know, I'm not going to waste hours and hours and hours, certainly not hours of hard drive video recording time for that, but we'll certainly do that as much as possible just to try to collect those nuggets and try to get that bank account up to as much money as possible. All right, so we'll wait to sell. We've got a lot of corn, but we will wait to sell that at a later time. All right, so let's see, what else do we need to do? We've got about 15 more minutes that we can kind of piddle around here, so I think that maybe I just need to move my mouse and grab my joystick. Kind of get this set up here. And we will we'll pedal some of the silage around. I think I'm stuck on the thing. Those silage bales still aren't 100% silage yet. Really not sure how long that process takes, but it's a little longer than just. I think I made those. Well, we baled those, I think, on Sunday. So the day before. So yesterday, day 7. And I fast forwarded time to day 8 after we completed all of our tasks that we needed to do, and yeah, so obviously I'm going to create a course play route to more effectively run this silage around. I'm not going to sit here and make you watch me do it all, but I'll do another bucket or two. But yeah, it makes it much easier with the joystick. The mouse controls are just, you know, near impossible to try to get used to. Well, I guess once you get used to it, I guess it's fine. It's whatever you get used to. Um, even if you're just a keyboard gamer, um, you know, that's using, what is it, the W? No, that's moving. The NJKN key, I believe, works the bucket. You know, once you get used to it, then yeah. But if you have a joystick where you can kind of, you know, I've got one hand on my joystick. I've got obviously I've got pedals for my Logitech G27. I got my steering wheel, so I've kind of got one hand on the wheel, one hand on the joystick. So it's pretty easy to do. It'd be a little bit faster in the wheel loader with the larger bucket, or I suppose I could use the adapter mod, which just allows the larger wheel loader bucket to go on the telehandlers. But that kind of looks a little odd, having such a large bucket on such a small tractor. I really like the new telehandler that's part of 17. That's going to be nice. So obviously I'm starting to think about just, you know, again, looking at everybody's streams that has been previewing it. I'm starting to sort of look at, you know, kind of what I'm going to do with regards to equipment. Again, I'm going to stick with the default equipment for a while. There's going to be some things that you need to buy sooner rather than later. For example, you have 3 tractors, which is pretty cool. They're smaller, but still, you get 3 tractors. You've got a small tipper. You've got a seeder. You've got obviously you've got a combine, and trying to think. You don't have a fertilizer spreader or a sprayer, so that's going to be something that you're going to need to get so that you can fertilize your crops. Actually, the seeder, I believe the seeder that is default with that map will do fertilize at the same time as seeding, I think. So that'll get you your first dose of fertilizer. And then, if I'm not mistaken, and then obviously you're going to need to get a spreader or a sprayer before you need to do your second application of fertilizer. Either that, or you'll suffer lower yields. But so obviously that's something that needs to be thought about. I can't remember if you get a front end loader, or if you get the attachment for what I mean is the attachment for the front end loader. But that's going to be something that you're going to need to think about, because you start off with a couple of seed and fertilizer bags. But unlike in 15, where most of the maps, including the default Westbridge Hills as an example, had the fertilizer, you know, on the main farm, and you just filled up and you paid for that, you got to go to the store. You got to go to the store and get your fertilizer, and then bring it back to your farm. That's kind of cool because it's realistic, you know. It's a little more realistic that way. So and of course you can, you know, they have sort of the rental mod built into the game, so you can lease. Um, but the lease arrangements are a little bit more pricey than what um, they are in 15 with the rental mod. But obviously you'll either need, well, you will need a pallet forks to load the seed seed and fertilizer bags on a trailer that either you buy or you lease that. Um, so you probably want to make it worth, if you're going to lease it, you probably want to make it worth your while that, you know, you buy enough seed and fertilizer to, you know, offset the cost of the leasing of the trailer. All right, you guys tired of watching me move silage? How about a couple of more runs, and then I'll wrap this episode up. My throat's getting dry, and I think I mentioned this in yesterday's or in this morning's stream. I've yet to see or hear anybody really talk about um, control setup in 17. So that's going to be something that I'll be looking at um, and probably talking about, is both ease of control setup as well as the track IR. I've not heard anybody talk about track IR, and I know that Squirrel uses track IR for ETS2 and ATS, and I watched his stream yesterday, I think it was, or maybe it was Thursday, and he didn't mention anything about track IR, and I tried asking in his chat, but you know, Squirrel has so many people watching his streams that it is near impossible to get him to notice a question in the chat. I mean, it just goes by so quick, and so I asked, but he didn't see it, and I didn't want to spam the chat by asking the same question over and over and over like some people do, so I didn't do that. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be you know, in the game by default, um, track IR and one other. There's, I think, it supports two different head tracking type systems, and track IR is one of them. So, and that's the one that I have. So we'll see how that goes. And you know, but as I've talked about before, I don't really use, there was a mod for 15 that supposedly works with track IR. I never experimented with it much because I don't drive much in cab, but I should probably try to do a little bit better job with that. So let's do a couple of runs and see how I do in first person with this. That's not too bad. Like a boss. Maybe, maybe not. Well, would you hire me on your farm to run your telehandler? Hell, I might even hire myself. Do a couple of more. Thanks for hanging out. I do appreciate it. I will go ahead and just take the time to, once again, thank everybody. I really, the channel has taken off. I think as of today, I think we've got about 46 or 47. No, I'm sorry, 56 or 57 subscribers. So that's really cool. I appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate all the likes that you guys are leaving. Please do that. That's a good motivation, and do that for all the other. I know you guys are watching other YouTubers, and make sure even though if they forget to ask for it or whatever, leave those likes. It's a good motivation. Those guys, Daggerwin and folks like that, they work a heck of a lot harder than I do at this, and they really deserve those likes. But I appreciate each and every one that you leave for me. I appreciate all of you that sub to the channel, and I appreciate you telling others about Grizzly Bear Sims here. Appreciate that, and really looking forward to bringing you some great content on 17, and eventually try to work in other games to the schedule. Maybe do a little bit more with ATS and ETS2. I'll be honest, I'm a little burned out on ATS at the moment. I think that probably the rescale, either the rescale or a new state DLC would, kind of fire me back up again. And I'm sure it's the same for all of you guys. There's only so many times you can drive through Arizona, Nevada, and California before you start to get a little bit bored. And I've said this on my blog from time to time, that one of the things that I really like um, about farming sim is that there's so much variety. You know, with ATS or ETS2, or even flight sim or train sim or any of those, you're sort of limited in what your role is, what you do. You're driving a truck, or you're driving a train, or you're flying a plane. With farm sim, yeah, there is some of that. Obviously, it's planting, plowing, harvesting, fertilizing, moving silage in a telehandler, if you want to spend 30 minutes doing that. If you want to bore your audience with running a telehandler for 20 minutes on a video, or there's other things. There's the animal husbandry. There's the moving TMR, fertilizing, messing about with chickens, and um, if you play on a map that doesn't have the fancy, automatic muckers and all of that kind of stuff going down and mucking out um, the um, the cow shed, hauling milk, um, forestry, mowing. There you go. Um, you know, so a lot of different things that one can do if they want. It doesn't have to be the same thing each and every time. First person is actually easier doing this job, doing the telehandler operations. It's much easier in first person. And I think it's easier in first person because of the better keyboard driving mod. For once, I fuss about it because when I'm in third person and I go to back up, it moves the camera around sometimes to an odd view, and I have to move the mouse and readjust it. But in first person, it's a little easier. Of course, it turns the camera around so I can see where I'm backing up to, but that's fine. It's like as if I'm moving my head. So Mike, I'm getting better at first person. That's Reefy 1952. Go check out his channel if you would. He's in my favorite streamers list there. Mike does most, I'd say, well, of what I've watched his videos, a very high percentage of everything is in cab, first person. Um, Mike is the opposite of me, where I sort of struggle driving in first person. He struggles driving outside of the cab in third person. So actually, probably Mike and I would probably be good farm partners. So I honestly had no intentions of doing this for the last 15 or 20 minutes. Um, and hopefully you're not too bored. Hopefully you enjoy some decent, I'll say decent, I won't say good wheel loading operation, but hopefully you enjoy some decent wheel loading operation, and you don't mind this, because I'm certainly having fun. Now I don't know if I would be as good at, say for example, moving pallets. I do struggle to see where the pallet forks are, and in real life, well, I worked for the Dr. Pepper bottling company for a couple of years, and I've worked in other jobs where I actually drove forklift, and I will tell you that it's much easier to drive a forklift in real life than it is to drive a forklift or any sort of pallet fork type vehicle, implemented vehicle in this game. It's very difficult, I find, but it's actually quite easy in real life. Or it's easy in real life once once you understand the controls and everything, because you can see so much easier. The field of view for doing this job is not too bad, because all I really need to do is, as I approach the silage here, I just make sure I'm not dragging my bucket, but I lower my bucket and move up to the silage. It fills, and of course it's a little bit, it's somewhat automated with it auto filling the bucket for you in a certain way. Um, and then I just make sure my bucket is up, lower it so I can see where I'm going, drive and spin around and empty. But with the pallet forks, it's a lot different. It's a lot different. It's a lot different. It's a lot harder than it is in real life. So at least that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. All right. Well, I really will say thank you all for watching, and thank you for subscribing. Thanks for telling your friends. Thanks for sharing the channel on your social media outlets like Twitter and Facebook and stuff like that. Do please share. Getting better, I think. I want to think I am, anyways. From the very first episode, Starting to do a little bit different things with editing. Got some music playing in the intro and the outro, and I've kind of done a few fast forward segments where kind of doing some things that are somewhat, like plowing or picking up windrow or whatever, and doing some, music and fast forwarding through that. So just, experimenting with different things, learning as I go along, and just trying really hard to, not only my number one goal obviously is to have fun. I'm not going to lie to you. I do this for, to have fun. I play Farm Sim to have fun. Um, I'll share a little piece of advice that Mike gave me just a few days ago. And of course, I'm talking about Reefy 1952. But, he told me play farming sim and make farming sim videos because you want to. Don't do it because you feel like you have to. And that is probably the best advice that anybody could give someone in this kind of thing, is that when you start feeling like, okay, I've got to go down to the basement, I need to record a video, then it becomes too much like a job, and I already have one of those, and I don't need another one. And so, as much as I am trying to improve for you guys that watch the stream, because you're very important to me, I won't sugarcoat that at all. You are. Um, but at the same time, I'm doing this to have fun. And if it ever becomes like a job, then, as I said, I've already got one of those. And so yeah, so that's my deal. And so that's Mike gave me that advice, and I am certainly taking it to heart. And I'm having a really good time right now driving this telehandler with my joystick and everything, and moving all this silage. And I appreciate you guys being patient with me and letting me do this for almost 30 minutes. So I think one more load we've got in there, and I will just go ahead and say goodbye now, because I know I've been sort of giving my closing arguments here for long enough, and I think that was it. So yeah. So thank you all for watching. I appreciate that. I'll just let the video here run out as I deliver this to the storage locker here. And I'll say thank you for watching, and I will speak to you all next time. Thank you now.